let's go ahead and explore a few more things before we go on. Here's the gym. I'm not going to be doing that in this recording session, though. Here we have another house. Once, while I was battling, my Pokemon couldn't make any moves. The power points, or PP, of its moves were all gone. Yeah, like what happened to that stupid Ditto. Sometimes, a healthy Pokemon may be unable to use its moves. If that happens, heal it at a Pokemon Center, or use an item. Or let it struggle you to death. Any of it works. La 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 la, have plenty of water, my lovely. When I watered that moving tree on Route 36, it jumped. I think it must be a Pokemon. But it would take someone like Whitney, our gym leader, to beat it. Okay, so I think that might be our hint for getting rid of that weird tree on Route 36. And sure enough, if we look at your Pokegear, you can tell that we're kind of going to that end of that circle where we actually were in Violet City. If I can show you guys. But yeah, basically around here. So yeah, we're getting pretty close to finishing off this circle. And then we can kind of explore those other paths. But, like I said, gonna ignore the gym for right now. Let's see what's over here on this side. Hello, hello, I'm the Name Rater. I rate the names of Pokemon. Would you like me to rate names? Not now, but I'm going to start looking through the comments section for those nicknames I asked for, and then I'll come back here later and start naming some Pokemon. And here's the other entrance to the underground path. Let's get our Pokemon ready, because there are going to be random encounters down here. Let's actually put shots in front. I think you have some rare Pokemon with you. Let me see them. Or you could, you know, not see them. I kind of like that idea. Okay, next we have... Oh, Slowpoke. Okay, I'm going to have to switch for this. But, thankfully, I have a nice Electric-type Pokemon in my party who's also at level 15. Okay, I got another Slowpoke. Let's go ahead and use Harl again. To shock him down to shreds. And there we go. Level 16. And Pokemon Maniac Donald has been defeated. Gah, I lost! That makes me mad. It better make you mad. Let's see. Hello. Do you consider type alignments in battle? If you know your type advantages, you'll do better in battle. I mean, that's generally true. I mean, that's true, definitely. Okay, here we have Super Nerd Teru. Oh, here are the Magnemites. So Magnemite actually has one of the new type move pools that were introduced in Generation 2, and those two types were Steel and Dark type. Magnemite is still an Electric type, but he's also in a Steel type now, so he's an Electric Steel. Steel is kind of the very tanky defensive type, where not a lot does damage to it, but when you do find its weakness, you can really exploit it. It's weak to fire. I forget what else it's weak to. I want to say fighting and maybe ground. I don't know all the weaknesses and strengths offhand, but it's a very unique typing for sure. The other type is Dark type, which is basically something that was introduced to balance out Psychic types in Gen 1, which were absolutely broken. They're good against Psychics, Ghosts. They are weak against Fighting types, though. And there is something else about them, too, that I'm not really thinking of right offhand, but I think Bugs are also strong against them as well. Okay, well, Shots has reached level 16 and has learned Magnitude, a very good ground-type move. Magnitude basically has fixed damages, and the higher number you get, the more damage you'll do. So we got Magnitude 7, which should do enough damage to kill it. But it's basically just like a watered-down version of Earthquake, pretty much. It's going to be a very useful move in our next gym battle, I think. Honestly, Geodude in general is going to be really good for the gym. Just because of how defensive it is and how much attack power it has. Shots is definitely going to be the star of that gym. Especially since it's female, for sure. Okay, that takes care of Teru. I think we have one more trainer to deal with. Everyone's at level 16 or 18, I like that. Here we have a coin case. This will allow us to start using the game corner, the casino. Okay, show me what you got. Pokemaniac Isaac. Pokemaniac Isaac of the Golden Sun series. Lickitung should be an interesting Pokemon to try to take down here. Kind of a tanky normal type in retrospect. At least at this point in the game. Generally the normal types that don't have evolutions or de-evolutions, they're pretty beefy. They kind of have to since they don't have evolutions. I suppose that makes sense. Okay, Isaac has been defeated. We can now move on. Oh, another trainer. One last trainer, I guess. I got booted out of the game corner. I was trying to cheat using Pokemon. Yeah, well, you know what? You're a loser. You're a big loser. Also, your name is Eric. Damn it, Eric. You're a loser. I was actually waiting for that. I knew there was a super nerd Eric in this game. It was only a matter of time. Okay, yay! Poison gas didn't work, thank God. It has a very low chance of working, but still, it's annoying whenever it does work, because it's poison. And Grimer, I'll go ahead and leave Laharl out for the beginning, and then I'll just switch. So we can level up, and then I can start working on shots again. I think if I'm at level 18 with all my Pokemon, I should be fine for the gym, honestly. But I might also do some training and leveling up my other Pokemon that are lower leveled. Maybe get some more evolutions ready. So I think there's a few of them we can get. Maybe not a whole bunch of them, but, you know, some of them. Okay, Laharlecoon level 17. Not gonna learn any new moves yet, though. Grumble. Yeah, you just grumble, Eric. You grumble for being a loser. That's exactly what you're gonna do. Okay, well, I pretty much explored all of Goldenrod City for right now. Everything that's worth of major note, which means next time I'm gonna be ready for the gym. In between, I'm gonna try to capture those other two Pokemon again. Hopefully with much better success, because Oh god, I hate the two Pokemon I'm trying to capture. I might train up Butterfree a little bit so I can get some of those status-inflicting moves like Sleep and Paralysis. Maybe I'll have a little more luck with those moves, but yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be doing off camera. I'm going to be capturing some more Pokemon, leveling up some more Pokemon, and doing my thing. So this has been SlimKirby. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and this has been Pokemon Trainer Rob, not SlimKirby. Who the hell is SlimKirby? I don't know. Bye. Hey guys, Pokemon Trainer Rob here for another post-recording session segment where I capture some more Pokemon, evolve some more Pokemon, and just in general showcase some other things that happened after the second recording session. I basically got all of my Pokemon with the exception of Magikarp up to level 15 because there is no way in hell I'm training Magikarp right now with such low level Pokemon. So I'll just wait to level him up. I'll get him up there at some point, but basically yeah, I got everyone else to 15. First up we have Oddish. You can only find Oddish during the Elex Forest during the night. You can get him in both versions, so unlike Generation 1, he is not a version exclusive. I personally like the Bellsprout line a bit more than the Oddish line, but I still really like Oddish too. You really can't go wrong with either Oddish or Bellsprout. And this was a male Bellsprout, and I'm going to name it after one of my good friends on YouTube, fellow Let's Player PixlPlume. His Twitter icon, I think it's just his icon in general, is a Vileplume with a frickin' mustache, which I think is already pretty epic as it is. So, naturally, he is going to be my Vileplume. However, oh, I almost forgot about this. One thing I do really like in Generation 2 is that when you fill up a PC box, Bill actually does the pleasure of calling you to remind you to switch boxes. And sure enough, that is exactly what I did. Anyway, getting back to Oddish. Oddish actually has two evolutions in this game, or at least Gloom does. You have Vileplume, which we already know from Generation 1, but there is also the Bellossom evolution, and because I'm going to go for that evolution too, I needed to capture a second Oddish. And this time, I actually got a female Oddish, and since Gaia Crusher 9 was my Oddish in Pokemon Generation 1, she is going to be my Bellossom in Generation 2. Plus, from what I remember, Bellossom is one of her favorite Pokemon as well. So, here's to you, Gaia Crusher and fellow CSS member. Glad to have you on board yet again, and I hope you enjoy being, well, being my Oddish for right now. It'll be a while till you become my Bellossom, but you will be my Bellossom at some point. I also managed to find another Pokemon here on Route 33, or is it 34? I think it's Route 34, my bad. I get the routes confused sometimes. Here is Abra, another Pokemon you can find on this route. I was actually not expecting Abra to show up this early. I wanted to train Butterfree until she learned Sleep Powder, but just for the hell of it, I just tried throwing a Great Ball straight away, and sure enough, I captured it on the first try. So Abra did not end up being one of the most pain in the asses to catch like he was in fricking Generation 1. Thank God. And once again, I am naming Abra after great friend of mine, fellow Let's Player, the one and only Odinspack 33. I know that Abra and the Alakazam Kadabra line aren't necessarily his favorites. I know his favorite is actually Flareon, but whenever I think of Abra, I think of Odin for some reason. I really don't know why. Anyway, I actually did find another Ditto, and since Laharl actually knew some paralysis moves, I decided to actually paralyze it this time to see if I actually had some better luck. And since you are seeing this, it is quite obvious that I did have better luck this time. Thank frickin' God. Ditto was such a frickin' chore to catch. And I actually checked his catch rate online after the incident during the recording. And yeah, Ditto does have a very low catch rate, so he is very difficult to catch. But I did not expect that many Great Balls to fail that it actually failed during the recording. But thank God I got them. That is finally over with. I actually had to sell the Full Heal and Super Potion that I got in the Elex Forest. And I think I also sold the Revive too. Just so I could actually get enough money to get some more Great Balls. And thank God I was able to actually catch them. Otherwise, I would have been frickin' broke with no way to purchase anything. And I named him Casanova for the purpose of what he's going to be used in this playthrough for. I am currently at the Pokemon Daycare. In Generation 1, you could leave a Pokemon at the daycare and it would grow up in levels the longer you leave it in the daycare and how many steps you take while the Pokemon is in the daycare. But this time, you can actually leave 2 Pokemon at the daycare. And when you do that, you open up the doors for a feature called Pokemon Breeding, where Pokemon can breed and have eggs. I don't know all the ins and outs of Pokemon breeding and Pokemon raising, but what I know is you can use Ditto as a very cheap and easy way if you're just going for Pokedex completion to get certain Pokemon. So I left Ditto with my Jigglypuff, and I got an egg from the daycare man. If he is outside in the daycare area, it means that your Pokemon actually had an egg. And then you just walk around until the egg hatches. During the process of this, the bike shop called me and said that I was doing a good job advertising their shop. And business has been good, and because of that, I can keep my bike. So after walking around for a bit more, the egg finally decided to hatch, and inside the egg was the pre-evolution of Jigglypuff that was introduced in Generation 2, Igglybuff. And this is why I didn't give my Jigglypuff a nickname, because I knew at some point I would be getting an Igglybuff, so I'll just end up training this one all the way up to the Wigglytuff stage. And because Wigglytuff was one of my team members in my Pokemon Blue playthrough, I'm going to keep the name the same in the spirit of that and name it Madamepuff. Centret went up to level 15 during this post-session, which is actually his evolution level, and he is going to evolve into Furret. Not a lot to say about Furret. He's a basic normal type HM slave-like Pokemon, and that's really about it. But perhaps the most interesting thing that happened, I found this Rattata. Now, the thing about this Rattata is that it is not purple. I actually found a freaking shiny Rattata in this playthrough. First shiny has been found. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the initial finding of me actually seeing the Rattata for the first time, but that is definitely a shiny Rattata, and because it's a shiny Rattata, I'm basically going to replace my old Rattata with this Rattata, and in the spirit of Rattata, I'm going to name it Joey, after youngster Joey. And yeah, I named it something else, but I didn't like the nickname, and then I came up with Joey later, and like, you know what, that's actually a good name, so I ended up doing that instead. But yeah, that's going to be it for this post-session of the second recording session for Pokemon Gold. One other thing I want to briefly mention before I end this video is, because of the nature of this playthrough, I have to do a lot of videos in advance. In fact, at the time I'm putting this video together, I'm putting this video together on the first day that Pokemon Gold actually was released on YouTube. So I'm doing a lot of work in advance, and as a result, I'm not going to be seeing a lot of comments on the playthrough and suggestions until much later. So it's going to be about 10 episodes at the absolute least before I start reading comments and stuff like that and start implementing those into my actual videos, especially for nicknames. And of course, just any other suggestions that have been posted, any comments or tips that were left for me. I'm not going to be seeing those until now, so I do apologize, but because this is a very long game and an RPG game at that, I kind of have to do it this way, because this playthrough is going to take me a really, really long time as it is. In fact, I spent about like 5 or 6 hours just in raising my Pokemon and doing stuff like that. So it's a very time-consuming playthrough, so I'm going to be kind of behind on reading comments. Just wanted to very quickly point that out before I end this episode, if that wasn't already clear, because, yeah, I'm going to have to do a lot of work in advance for this project. So, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Pokemon Trainer Rob. I will see you guys next time when we continue our journey and do the gym of Goldenrod City. Later, folks.